noisy in the chat room.
Oh, well, we're going to have to liven it up just a little bit then. So, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Wolf Michael Fister on HPQ's Mixcloud. And good morning to you, Scant Stress. And of course, to you, Sharky DJ. Good morning. I hope you are well. Did you have a good weekend?
Yes, it was okay. Relaxed weekend, a very relaxed weekend indeed. I was supposed to go to a party, but it didn't end up going. So yes, it's been a relaxed weekend.
Well, we were supposed to go to a party and neither of us ended up going. So,
No, he
my dad
didn't.
had. No, my dad wasn't very well, so had to stay in and look after him. He
Oh,
spent
I
the
hope he's
morning in
fine.
bed on Sunday. Yeah, he's getting there. He's 87, he's doing good. He's doing good, nevertheless. But Sharky DJ on your Mixcloud, I just want to say good morning to Kimmy Kim. Long time, Kimmy. I thought you just abandoned us. It's good to see
She
you
did,
on the
didn't she?
Mixclouds.
Don't see her. She normally just jumps on Pablo's cloud, mixed cloud. We don't see Kimmy anymore.
But we still love her, nevertheless. And Cheryl A. also. Who else have we got? Laurie. First Lady, Jack's Happy, Spice Nice, G-Force, everybody, good morning and welcome back to the Breakfast Flight Show. We were missing last week as well. MIA, missing
Absolutely.
in action.
Definitely missing in action.
Well,
Not
anyway,
a good thing, is it really?
oh no, but it's nice that people miss us and they look forward to it and come back week in, week out to come and have a listen to some
Hmm.
alternative news. Now, talking about news, now, first of all, I get all kinds of information sent to me, and I see all kinds of information on WhatsApp and Twitter and Google and everything.
Hmm.
But the one thing I do, and the one thing that I think is really important, and this is for everybody, is that before I pass on the information, is to make sure that I've read it and understand and see whether it's true or not, and fact check it. Because there's so much stuff going around that is untrue, and it goes
Yeah,
viral. Um, and there's
it's very
multiple stories
important.
out. Yeah, there's multiple stories out there of only one source plus all these little scams that are going around. And the mills are spinning on everything. I brought you the news on P Diddy, for example. I did my research on it. I
Hmm.
made sure I bought stuff that has been spoken about or actually in the news and fact checked everything that I've been bringing to you, or just say it's alleged. This is what's on the rumor mills. However, there was two bits that went round last week. And I just want to speak about this just for a second. And one of
Hmm.
them was this viral video about electricity prices, stating that the UK has the highest payments for electricity per year, that being 2,500, and it was showing the rest of the European countries at 200 and something and 500 and something. And I initially downloaded it and thought, great, I'll bring it to the Breakfast Flight Show. But then I thought, well, let's check this because my bill is not 2,500 for the year. So how can this possibly be? They've gone down. We know they have, especially for
Hmm.
those that are renewing their contracts. So when I read into it a little bit more, it was a little bit more than what the gentleman was saying. And it was basically incorrect. And this was being passed around by everybody. And I put it into the group saying, guys, please fact check your information before you send this around because it could cause God knows whatever. Um, and it's just easiest to check your information. And then the other thing that goes around as well are these airline vouchers. Get cheaper flights, book on this particular airline. So there's one that was going around, and this
Mm.
was one on Jet2. Jet2 were giving away 500 flights. This is what gets thrown out on WhatsApp. So I just want to show this out there to everybody. There are so many things wrong with that link before you even click on it. Now, Jet2 are an organization. Every organization has a legal URL, and that URL is what is the HTTPS and the string and the email address that, or sorry, the website address that you click on. If you're seeing all this TRKS link top and all these bits and pieces afterwards, it's not Jet2. And if you
Mm.
want to check whether an airline is actually giving away free vouchers or free
Go to
holidays,
the website.
go to the website. Stop
Mm.
clicking on these links and do not pass them on. I've got a little I say this word, my favourite word, bugbear about this, right? When people pass on these links without checking them themselves, check them. They are full of viruses, will mess up your phone and anybody else's phone that clicks on that link. So
Mm.
don't send them around. They are too good to be true. Most airlines are not giving away these things unless you're hooked up with Nectar or something like that. So don't send them, people. It's bad. It's bad.
I mean, Watson, what really that does get me is that these have been going around for years, for a good last couple of years, and by now you'd have thought that people would have got wise to the fact that, you know, when you see free offers like this, that it is definitely some form of scam. And I know there's some sophisticated scam that people are getting caught out with, but a scam like this particular one, and people are still forwarding it around, sending it around like, you know, if it, you know, the saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it's most probably not.
Exactly. Exactly, it
Yeah.
is. It is. So that's my little rant for for the morning. Hopefully over with.
Well, it's not actually a rant. It's good advice, really, isn't it? It's just good advice that you're giving people out there, you know, and things that people do need to know about.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the other thing I want to speak about is now one thing that's going on in the news that's really really important is this Iran strike
Mm.
in Israel with the drones. And the one thing I don't talk about on the news, as you know, is war, because I'm dead against war. I don't understand the need for it and the countries to get nuclear atomic bombs and want to kill off everybody, bar the
Yeah.
people that's causing the problem themselves. I don't get it. If you want to strike down the government, that's up to you. You know, I got no problem with that, but not innocent people. And this is what war does: is kill innocent people and make government try and feel bad about them killing their people or not. It's what percentage will make them feel bad enough to do something about it, and just
Hmm.
the constant fighting. I don't get it. So I won't report on it, people. I'm sorry. If you're looking for war news, it's not going to be on the Breakfast Flight Show. And also
I
football.
was
I know you
speaking
kind of
about
touch
it
on
this
football.
morning.
I
Yeah,
don't want a little
I
bit of
was actually
football. A little bit.
I was speaking about the war this morning, and you know, I think it's getting to a point where, you know, maybe not too heavy discussion, but I don't like to sweep it under the carpet. It is a serious issue that's going on over there, and you know, it's nothing that we can do because obviously it's the people in control. But God help, you know. I mean, it's now spreading across the Middle East. That's the horrible thing. I mean, before it was just Palestine, but now, you know,
Yeah.
it's Iran. Where's it going to be next?
Well, they're saying there might be a third world war. So let's hope it doesn't come to that. War is
Mm,
expensive also, and the
yeah,
cost of living
very.
around the world is at its highest. And talking about the world is expensive and the world and population, there's the rumour mills are spreading again about coronavirus and how it started, and that it was a depopulation exercise. I've always thought that. I've always actually thought that COVID was a depopulation exercise. The pension bill for each country, in particular the UK, the US, and countries like Spain and Italy, are particularly high. And I think governments were realizing that it was going to become unaffordable. People are living longer also, which is why they're raising the pension age, the state pension age in the UK. Um, and you'd see how the coronavirus particularly attacked the vulnerable and the old. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there right now. I urge you to have a
Mm.
look on Twitter and see what they're saying, you know. And it's a bit like what's happened to these super viruses that kept saying that was going around after the coronavirus? Did they just die into Netherlands or something? What
Yeah,
what happened
you
to
do
them?
wonder what's happened to it, don't you? You do have what's happened to, you know, all these. I mean, it's like all the other things that's come. AIDS. And remember, it was like you get AIDS, you know, there's no cure for it, and you think it's going to be
Oh,
there
there is
forever, and all
now.
of a sudden you don't hear anything about it, and you know all the other things that man-made diseases that are going around there. And I definitely think you're absolutely correct where the depopulation of humans are going on, and you know, who gives them the right to do that? You know, and they always want to start with Africa. Why Africa? Africa doesn't trouble nobody. They
They're
just
not
want the
even get.
resources from Africa. That's what I think.
They're not even getting the same things as the rest of the world, like pension and things like that. So I don't know why they're starting with Africa. But anyway, I kind of want to come on to some other news, what's happening in government. This was going on for the past couple of weeks while we were off, and I still think it's relevant to speak about it. But MP Tony Wagg. But let's play a track and come back to this MP. Have you heard the story about the honey trap MP? That got caught giving MPs numbers out. Let's talk about that in a second.
HPQ, but this honey trap.
So this was all over the news a couple of weeks ago. Now most of our MPs are middle-aged old white men, came from old money like Eton and Oxford and Cambridge universities and boarding schools, and God only knows what went on. But Tory MP Tony Wagg admitted. Now, what actually happened is that a number of MPs got contacted by some young men talking about, hi, do you remember me from a party? We got on really well. Loose information about perhaps something they could have picked up on Facebook or any of their social media. But what transpires is that there's a particular MP, I think it's Tony Wagg, his name was. Now, he had gone on to Grindr. He's an homosexual MP. He'd gone on to Grindr, which is
Grindr.
the app for, yeah, it's an app for where you meet men. Yeah, I know.
Oh, man.
You got Tinder and then you got Grindr. Yeah, it's a popular app amongst the homosexual community. And he met someone on there. And this person apparently honey trapped him into giving out 12 MP telephone numbers. Now, I don't know what kind of honey trap that was that made you give out 12 numbers. What was he doing that made you give out those numbers? Did you scream out those numbers, young Tony Wagg? Were you screaming? Were you in Diddy's favour camp? Were you in Puffy's flavour camp at the time? Epstein's Island.
Puffy get the blame.
I'm telling you, he really is now. He really is. I got to tell you a little joke about that. But so he had given out 12 numbers of MPs, and it came up in parliamentary committee, and there was calls for him to resign, and he was desperately trying to hang on. But what I don't understand is that you've committed a serious offence there. You've given out the personal numbers of 12 MPs and you're telling me you're still hanging on to your job and that Rishi Sunak hasn't sacked you. Instead, he comes out with, well, he's deeply apologised for this and we accept his apology. What? Imagine if you did that in the workplace. If I gave up my numbers of my colleagues to some dating app, do you really think I could hang on to my job and say I've apologised and that's that, accept it? What is it with these MPs?
Definitely not good enough.
Yeah, he didn't stand down, but he said he wouldn't contest the next election. But he says he was targeted by a scammer. Come on. You know why you're going on Grindr. It's not for a conversation.
Never heard of that before, Grindr.
Have you not heard of Grindr? Have a quick
Never
peek.
heard of it.
Yeah?
Never
Have
heard of Grindr.
Have a quick peek at what Grindr is and you'll soon find out what it is.
Spice nice that these people are just nasty. They're from a different world.
They are. What is wrong with the world? Honestly, I just think, when you're doing something for the country, such as you are king, queen, royalty, you are upstanding in the community, we do realise that you are normal and you do have to have a life and these things you do. I honestly get that. But to do behaviour like that, it makes you think, now you're running your constituency and making decisions for the local people, and these are the kind of decisions you're making in your personal life. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
so what kind of decisions is he making for the rest of his constituency if he's making such bad decisions at home? And this isn't just a mistake. A mistake is you bought something and you didn't realise what it was, right? Going on Grindr intentionally, speaking to someone who's probably doing things with his hands that's making you talk in tongues, or giving out names. You're not fit to be an MP. You're not fit to run. You're not fit to be an MP. And you're not fit to certainly be paid off or anything like that. You know, if you want to be normal like the rest of us and be treated with normality, such as you get the sack, because that's what happens to us, you know? So it's unfair. One rule for them and another rule for the other.
Mm.
It's ridiculous. But that brings me down to a very quick story, actually. It's got nothing to do with MPs, but yesterday I stopped in a shop to get a soft drink for my dad, and there was this young chap in there, and you couldn't not notice him because he was like you know when people are that dark, it's like that dusty black. It's dusty. It's that matte black,
You see,
right?
dark,
He
dark,
was
like a blue
dark
black.
blue. It was worse than a blue black. It was a dusty matte black. It was weird, like burnt chocolate. I don't know. I don't know
Mm.
how to explain it. And then he looked like he come off a construction site, shoes caked in mud. You know, and I was thinking this guy's not going to chance it today. No, no, not today. He's not. And he was like, "How old are you?" And you know me, I give people the time of day
Mm.
unless you're rude, and then I'm gonna cuss you off or whatever. So I said, "How old are you?" And he said, "I bet I'm older than you." And I looked him up and down and said, "I bet you're not." And then he said, "I'm 36." I just ran out the shop and said, "Yeah, all right, bye." This dusty black person. I'm telling you, people just chance it. Don't even come out in your good clothes and try a thing. You come out in your nasty clothes and trying it. And I looked all right as well, you know. It wasn't like I came out like I normally do in the morning if I'm running out. But no, no, no. But that's what I'm saying about these kids. And also what they're saying is that we're bringing up a lazy nation of children, you know, who want more, who want to work for less. We've never had a nation of children who want so much more and citing so much mental health issues before they've had a
Mm.
chance to even indulge in any kind of hard work. Do you believe
Mm.
that we are being soft on our children right now?
I,
Are we bringing them
well,
up to be soft?
I think the way society is today, definitely, children obviously of now have changed. Obviously, with all the technology around, definitely a lazy set of children. You know, I mean, there are parents out there that still make their children do all the chores and stuff, but definitely think that it's a lazy nation that we're bringing. God help us. What's the world going to be like in the next 20, 25 years? You know, because the
Listen,
standards of the 60s will be gone. You know, that's like you know, that would be like us, you know, thinking about the 1900s. You know, the early 1900s.
and it's so funny because I took a screenshot from a popular group where I take some of their memes off, and it said, the reason why our families are not the same anymore is because we buried the ones that used to keep the family together. Do you think that's
Very
true?
true.
It is very true,
Very
isn't it?
true.
All the
I mean,
old
there are some
matriarchal.
families that do. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead, finish up.
No, I was saying there are some families that do try to keep it together, but it's very difficult with the amount of children out there now in families. It's like that bonding is not bonding anymore. You know, come Christmas time, you know, families would get together. You know, all the cousins would know each other. The brothers and sisters would know each other. In this day and age, brothers and sisters end up together, not knowing each other. You know, it's really a sad society. Really, you know, it's very important that you know people know their family. But unfortunately, you get cousins ending up with each other, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know, this one's related to that one, or gosh, the society has really changed.
Family units have broken down, and the deconstruction of gender is affecting this also. They took away the rights for us to punish our children or discipline our children. Then we gave children more rights than what they really should have had. They needed rights, but we've kind of gone way over the top. We're very lenient on them, or we're very strict on them. We either throw them in jail, or we're
Mm,
extremely lenient on them. Our schools are broken. They have nothing to do unless parents have got money into putting them into places for them to flourish. So
mm.
we are bringing up a nation of broken children. You know,
Yeah,
we've got families
definitely
who are struggling.
hmm definitely a nation of get and expect society now. You know, it's a get. You know, they need to get this. You know, they're waiting for something, and they're expecting. You know, they come out expecting the benefits. You know, my benefits not being paid. You know, and instead of trying to go out and work, I'm not saying for all, because there are children. There are people. There are kids out there that are very ambitious, but it's a get society now, and unfortunately, the world is changing that way. And do you blame it on the government? The way the government,
No,
just
well,
give them.
I think and of course we attribute this to the ever-changing world, right? Beforehand, if we ordered something, it would be from the Freeman's catalogue, right? Or would it
Yeah,
Grattan or whatever catalogues
that
there were
big.
out
You
there.
used to wait for the new autumn one comes, and you knew that catalog back to front. Marshall
Yeah,
Awards.
yeah, or even the Argos catalogue when they had the book at Christmas when you'd allowed to
Mm.
pick something and you'd have to wait. These catalogues you'd have to wait a week or two for the items to come, and would be patiently waiting for it because that was the time. Now, if my Amazon order doesn't come the next day, I'm anxious. Like, where is this order? I want this order to arrive. Why isn't it ordered? You ring up Amazon demanding that they give you a refund because it didn't happen on the Amazon Prime Day. I mean, we too are attributing to this impatient society, as I call it. We want things now. You go to the cinema to see a film. Now you just have to wait a couple of days before it hits, your little Amazon Fire Stick, and then you get a cam copy. I was watching I'm not saying which film. I was watching a cam copy film last night. It was a bad cam copy film, but we got to see it. The film's just
You
been
got to see
released.
it in the end.
I
Tut tut
know.
tut tut tut.
You
House
know
party
me.
queen.
I know. The
Off to jail you
stationary
go.
stealer, stationary stealer, uh, film watcher. I'm telling you, I break the law. Sorry.
I think everyone breaks the door. And on that note, I think we take a short break. I could hear
I'm
myself in my
sit-
ear, but I could not hear myself here.
I know. We could hear the music turning down every time we wanted to talk, but
Oh
type going.
man! Tell you what, it's all that technology, isn't it? It's the technology. It just gets you sometimes.
Oh, it
But
does.
never
It does.
mind.
It happens. But anyway, coming on to the next subjects, cats. I'm not talking about vet bills, by the way. I'm over that now.
Before
I'm over.
before we talk about cats, can we just read that? Could you just read that comment from
Oh,
Stephen about the YTS scheme? Yes, I remember the YTS scheme.
you might have to read that out because my Mixcloud is stalled. I'd have to.
Gosh, what's going on with Mixcloud? So Stephen Henry says, good morning. I grew up on the YTS scheme, getting £26 a week. I had to give my parents £20 of that towards the housekeeping, and I moaned them, but now I understand why it was done. We're brought up in a different. We were brought up different back then. Good morning, by the way. He said good morning at the beginning. He said morning at the beginning, Stephen. Yes, absolutely. You remember that? I mean, we used to get a bit of money. We had to give our parents some money towards our keeping. You try to get money for some of your kids now, even the ones that are working, they don't want to pay it. They just think that they're just entitled.
I,
I mean,
I,
who out there actually gets money? It takes money from their children without feeling guilty, and I don't think we should feel guilty about it. I think they need to pay their way.
I definitely invoke that in my son. Pay some money. I don't care. How you feel about it. He'd be like, well, April, he doesn't have to pay any money. Well, that's April and her mum. You're paying some. You know,
Exactly.
who's going to pay for all the food and electricity that you're using now you're old? You want to go out and spend all your money and you don't want to save a penny. And I'm just, no, 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 no. No, that
The
doesn't
Get
happen.
Society.
It is the Get Society. And another uh, kind of meme I took off Facebook said, today's generation goes out at night, calls in sick to work the next day. Our generation went clubbing, got home at 5 a.m., slept for an hour and showed up to work in the same clothes.
Who said that?
This was just on a Facebook post, when they talk
Oh,
about
right. I
the old
thought the
days.
comment there. Oh, right. I thought it was a comment that was
No,
made.
no,
I
no, no,
couldn't
no.
see it.
But it's true. Today's generation, they're calling in sick the next day. How much time? And we called it bleaching. Remember the word bleaching?
Yeah,
Yeah, when you used to
bleaching.
go
Yeah.
out all night and then go straight into work or straight to the next rave and just kept going. But our young
Mm.
society can't do that no more. They need like 3 days of, 2 days off work and another day to relax to get over that and then go back
Mm.
to work.
I
Total
like
different
this.
society.
I like this next one. It says, Miss Sugar Sweet. She says her daughter pays £25 plus for the internet. That's good. I like it. And Stephen says, I take it, yes, eat, drink, PlayStation does not pay or pay for itself and
Itself.
not under my roof. Yes.
No. And Sugar Sweet, man, you're good. £25, is that it?
You know what I mean?
I
20,
was charging
that's
my son
nothing.
years ago, and I wasn't even charging him £25. It was a lot more than that. He used to pay that plus the electricity bill. That's what you make them pay. Because I said to my son, if you want to sit down that all night, you're paying for the bill. So he paid the electricity bill for years. You stay up all night, leave the lights on. I don't care. You're paying for it. So that's the very least he done. And paid some towards rent. No, 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 no. You can't be big old 20 something in my house and paying 25. Listen, Sugar Sweet, I'm coming to live at your house. It's
I,
cheap.
HPQ, I bet he was very aware of the amount of electricity that were being used once he's paying it. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, he was, you know. He was.
Turn this off. Turn that off. Turn.
Why are you
Turn.
leaving the
You know.
lights on, Mum? Look how much it's clocked up. I just used to look at him and smile. Now you know how it feels. You know?
I actually feel that, from a young age, as soon as they start getting some money, like they should be given a responsibility. They should be given something to be responsible. This is yours. This electricity bill is your bill to pay. Yeah. And whether it's, that or the gas bill, if they start working, right, these are your bill plus a little bit of rent right from an early age.
Yeah.
That's your responsibility. Take that. Because, if I had my son living with me, or my daughter, they'd be paying something. Or
Yeah.
grandchildren, yes.
Yeah. Even the grandchildren, I don't care. I love my grandson, but you're paying, man. Listen, I had my grandson down last week. He can eat. He can eat. I don't know how much money I spent, but I spent a lot of money that week. And it's just like, yeah, you can go home now. It's time to, actually, it's time to go home. I miss you, but you need to leave. You're too expensive.
Yeah.
Grandchildren are expensive. And at one point, he wanted something. He looked at me and went, please, Nanny, please. And I gave in. I just gave in. I couldn't do anything about it. I got that face. Oh, but that's it. All right, have it. Take it all. Have it every day, every hour. It's yours, hun. It's all yours. They just melt you.
Can't you see the mix cloud there?
I can see it now.
Spice
So,
Nice. Yeah.
Sugar Sweet on my Mixcloud says, I came in the shower, straight back out the door. Yes, we used to do that in them bleaching days. Go in the shower and go straight out. And Miss Sugar Sweet says she don't live there. That's just her stuff in the room. That's good that you're charging it even for
Yeah,
stuff in the
good.
room.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, good.
It,
£10 to the lecky in all the 70. And Spice Nice, she says, these people, no. What happened to the feed me, can't see me anything? I don't get
I
that.
think what happened to the feed? We can't see anything. I think that's what she's saying. The Mixcloud feed. I
Mm.
think it is. And
And definitely
she
pay for the
says
water and the council tax.
they're part of the council tax or don't live here. You know, you're putting rubbish out and taking services as much as everybody else. I'm telling you, no messing around, people. No messing around with your kids. It's not the time of love anymore. It's expensive. Every time I step through the door, I just want to step back in. I step out and I think,
Mm.
cha-ching, £20 has already gone before I've even got into the shop. Don't ask me how, but £20 has gone. And invariably, if I step out again, more money's being spent. So I tend to like to stay in my house these days. It's cheaper. It really is.
It is.
But also, for those of you that have got pets, cat owner like myself, my cats are actually microchipped. I'd hate to think they'd go somewhere and couldn't find them again. So owners, they've been issued a 60-day warning ahead of a rule which will see £500 fines if your cat is not microchipped. Now, 22% of cats in the UK are currently not microchipped. And as of June, what's the date? June the 10th this year, all cats, if you own a cat, will need to be microchipped. And if they're not microchipped, you can see yourself with a £500 fine.
Wow.
Now, what I don't like is that
So
when they want people to do something,
Mm.
well, they check if something happens to a cat or if a cat's coming in for a regular checkup, because the vets can check automatically, scan, and check for a microchip. Or if they're found on the
Okay.
streets or something and
Okay.
it happens to get back to the owners or something, then they are fined. But instead of fining the owners, why don't they just help the owners microchip the cats, have a fund, Come and microchip your cats for £10. That way all cats will be microchipped rather than... I could see the cost going up for microchipping cats now. Now this is coming into force. It's not that expensive currently, but I can assure you vets will put those fees up. They'll find a way to put that. But this is new government regulation, so if you do have a little putty cat, please,
Does
and
that
it's
go
not
for
microchipped.
dogs as well?
I
Does that
believe
go
so.
The same for dogs?
I believe so. I will check to see. But I believe dogs need to be... I think all pets will need to be microchipped as of that date. But this article is actually just concentrating on cats right now.
More money.
Right, so...
I tell you what, they're really finding ways to make money, ain't they?
Well, cats can make you money as well if you are an avid TikToker. You know, have your cat up there, that could monetize you. The other way that you could earn money is that Omni, I believe they're a cat food maker. They are asking cat owners to have the opportunity to earn £60,000 a year. Want to know how?
How?
So they are asking, they've got a new brand of food. It's like a vegan cat food that they're asking the owners to feed their cats, and they have to video and document and upload stuff on social media and write about how their cat's dietary habits or fur coat changes have affected them or not. And for that, you'll be paid the grand sum of £60,000 a year. Now, I applied for it. I kid you not. I applied for it. I found the link. I was hoping that it weren't a scam. I looked, and there was other sites reporting this, and it was a Google Doc site. So I didn't put in all my information. No pertinent information. But I put some information in. I've signed up for it. If I can get paid £60,000 a year to monitor my cat, that's easy. I'll do that anyway. Film my cat all the time. To get paid for it, I'm up for some of that.
And it would suit you because obviously you do believe that your cat, the cat food is not fit for purpose for your cat because your cat keeps getting sick with the food, not eating the food. But you know what I found out? That Sheba, Whiskers, Go Cat, a lot of those cat foods are all made by the same firm. Do you know that?
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
I
they're
didn't
owned
know
by the
that.
same firm and just got different brands. And Sheba,
different names.
Whiskers, Felix, and all those other cat foods are actually not fit for purpose really for cats. It's not good. I think the meat contained in there is something like 2%. There's not a high quantity of meat in there for your pets. And I went to Pets at Home because my cats are having real trouble. I'm having trouble getting them to eat the food. They're just wasting it, so it doesn't make any sense. And I was looking at cat foods to buy them with a higher content of meat. My cats are living large. They're living large, I'm telling you. I bought a box of pet food for £20 and another one for £25. A box, 10 sachets, just 10 85-gram sachets. Because I thought I'll trial this out, and I'm hoping my cats don't like it because I can't spend £25 a time on my cats. £5 is good. £25 a time is ridiculous.
Same way, innit?
Listen, right? When I put that cat food out in the bowl, it looked like real meats in there, like chunky bits of meat. Like, if someone's peeing me off, I'm going to cook that cat food and give it to them. It looks like meat.
Are they happy with it? That's the thing.
They are. Willow's exceptionally happy with it. I'm going to see what happens after a box, though, because she gets bored. She's got a low boredom threshold, So I'm going to have to check. When First Lady says full of sugar, that's probably what it is. My cat will lick it and then run away like it's got a weird taste to it. So, yeah. So Spice Nice says, long time ago when I had Jazz, I'm hoping that's your cat, he eat hard food and ackee and saltfish. He never ate cat food. How long did the cat last? Did it have a cholesterol problem? Try.
Every time we go away, you just go swimming across the pool just like that, and I just stand there and watch in envy. When are you going to teach me how to swim? I've started to teach you how to salsa. It's about time you teach me how to swim.
I was gonna say when I finally learn salsa, I'll teach you how to swim.
No, you've been getting lessons.
Anyway, good morning, Lisa. Lisa, good morning. Oh gosh, I do like that name, King Sharky. Maybe you should use that. But for those that have got cats, by the way, and feeding them tuna and all these things, you've got to understand what's good for cats and what's not good for cats. And I've learned this along the way by having cats all my life. Now, please do not feed your cat milk, right? The lactose in milk is not very good for cats. Even though you assume that cats lick milk, adverts will say that and everything. The lactose in it affects cats. So don't give them normal milk. There's things called cat milk that you can go and buy that you can give to them, or just water. You know, they go outside and drink rainwater or just normal water, but do not give them normal milk. It's not good for them. All right. And the other thing is, and I know you say you give your cats tuna and everything, and tuna in moderation is fine for cats, but it's got high levels of salt and mercury, which is not good for their health or their diet and could actually affect them. So you should give it to them in small amounts. They shouldn't really eat it in oil or brine either. Rinse it off and give it to your cats if you're going to give them some tuna, please. And do not feed tuna to your cats all the time. As I said, the high levels of salt and mercury in there could affect them, and you could see high vet bills like what I've had. Okay, now you mustn't also feed cats raw meat. Okay, you must cook the meat slightly, steam it, or do whatever if you want to give them any kind of meat, but do not feed them raw meat. They've got different stomachs to dogs, and also to other mammals out there. So their stomach makeup is a little bit different. So whilst you might think it's a good idea to slap some chicken ends when you've been cutting off all those bits and pieces, no, cook them first. Don't give it to the puss like that. All right? No raw eggs, no raw fish either. Cheese and milk also, like I said, the lactose in cheese. Even though my cat loves cheese, I'll give her a tiny little bit at times, but I won't feed her a lot of cheese. Grapes, raisins, things like that you mustn't give to cats. Also lilies, in terms of plants, are very poisonous to cats. So be very careful if you've got lilies around the house, or you like lilies like I do. When they start shedding, I have to get rid of them pretty quickly. So I hope that's a bit of useful information for you guys who are cat lovers or do have cats. And Spice Nice says, I give my cat cooked chicken. She loves it. That's her treat. Yes. My cat's, like I said, fussy. I'll put down some chicken. They'll eat some, and then it's like, no, I don't want no more now. I've had enough. Thanks. I want something different now. I'm telling you, they are very, very different. Very different. But coming off the subject of cats, onto another subject that has been dominating in the news. And J.K. Rowling has been a staunch supporter of the fact that people are trying to say that trans women are women and they should be treated as such. And she's spoken out about this for quite a while. She's been vilified on Twitter. She's had death threats from the trans community. And the people that she put in her Harry Potter films have gone against her. I can't remember their names now. Daniel Radcliffe and Emma something, can't remember her name, have spoken out against her, saying that they believe that trans women are women and all they should be accepted in society, and you know they are this gender and so forth. But there has been lots of media spotlight on these transgender clinics. There's been reports to say, and the reason why this had risen up is because they said that trans children were, had a high rate of suicide because they weren't being listened to. And all of a sudden we've got these flurry of clinics that have propped up to give advice to young children, fast-tracked into taking puberty blockers, having their breasts reduced, and going through all this surgery at a very young age, identifying at 3 and 4 and having all this appointments and therapy to get them to realise their true self or the self that they want to be, and not trying to encourage them to maybe even experiment and wait to a later age, but they're trying to get them transitioned from the age of 7. The Tavistock Clinic, which was one such establishment, had been shut down due to some of the unorthodox practices it was doing there with children in terms of pushing them forward to gender reassignment at a very young age and puberty blockers, like I said. Now, the Cass report was a review of England's gender services for children and young people. This was initiated 4 years ago, and it actually finished and culminated in a 388-page report, which I have not read. No, I haven't. But I've got some of it summarised in this article. And the report was covered by 9 systemic reviews of evidence supporting the recommendations. Now, it's talking now saying that establishment should not be rushing into providing puberty blockers and going through to gender reassignment for children. There are some risks that have been there, and they believe that the NHS trusts and the private clinics have not done enough to look into the risks of trying to transition children as early as 3, 4 or 7 or whatever those ages are. And its report is asking for recommendations to how children are treated, and that there's an age limit being capped on it now. That's what they want. There's been some pushback from lots of the private medical clinics and some NHS trusts saying that they don't want to implement this. And J.K. Rowling has spoken out and said, thank God that the government are now starting to listen. Why have we been allowed to have groups like Stonewall, which is a staunch LGBTQ organisation, which seems to have a lot of influence in the government at the moment in terms of its gender policies? Why are they allowed to grow so much and have so much influence over the government, especially in children? Our children need to be protected and be children. Granted, they want to experiment. You want to put on a wig and flance around in some high heel shoes, that's fine. But that doesn't mean to say that you need to have your genitalia taken away from you just to feel that way. And especially at an age where you're confused and your body is actually still growing. Why would you block something what your body is naturally doing?
Gosh, why would you? Do you know, sorry, I just was looking at this post that Rudy said, I can't believe that Bruce Jenner's messing with his body. And I looked to see who Bruce Jenner was.
That's Caitlyn Jenner.
Is that now Caitlyn Jenner?
So Bruce Jenner was married to Kim Kardashian's mum. Oh, God, her name eludes me now. And she was married to Robert. It's so weird, actually, because she was married to Robert Kardashian, and Robert Kardashian was the one that was the lawyer for O.J. Simpson, who is just recently deceased.
Wow.
She then that's what broke the marriage, actually, because she was friends with Nicole, who was the person that O.J. was alleged to kill, and Robert Kardashian was friends with O.J., and O.J. was a friend of the family, and there was rumours that Khloe Kardashian really, her father is O.J. Simpson. I mean, she looks completely different from the rest of the sisters. She's taller, got curly hair and a few black looks. Not anymore, because they've all changed their noses, so you wouldn't know. But that's the connection now. Bruce Jenner was married to the mum for ages until he decided to come out as a woman. They kept spotting him having his Adam's apple taken down. He used to wear nail polish. He was growing out his hair. And then he came out a few years ago as Caitlyn Jenner and now lives as a woman. He was an Olympic champion. He was a decathlon athlete. Yeah, he won medals.
I remember his face. And he's had his chin done. He's like...
Oh, this was Kris Jenner. Thank you very much, First Lady. That's her name, Kris Jenner. Kris Jenner. Yeah. And even more absurd is that there's a resident in Toronto, Ontario, actually, who wants a vagina and a penis, and took his... yeah. Sharky spilt his tea in hearing that. I'm so sorry. I know it's early in the morning,
I nearly spat it out all over my computer.
Yeah. They have been on Ontario. The city has been ordered to pay for surgery for a resident who is seeking to have a vagina constructed whilst leaving their penis intact. Denying the procedure would infringe on the person's charter-protected right to security of the person. That's what the court said in its ruling.
Did they keep their balls as well?
Listen, the guy wanted to have funding to have this constructed, and he had been locked in a legal battle with Ontario Health Insurance Plan since 2022 when they denied a funding request to have a penile preserving gynecomastia performed at a clinic in Texas. Now, the surgery is not available in Canada, and it involves creating a vaginal canal or opening without removing the penis. Now, he was born as male, but identifies as female dominant and uses a female name. Now, this insurance group denied the funding for requests, okay, arguing that the procedure is not included in its list of sex reassignment procedures and therefore is not an insured service. I didn't realise sex reassignment is insurable now. Okay, so the person appealed to the Health Services Appeal and Review Board, arguing that forcing this person to have their penis removed would invalidate their identity and be akin to an illegal act of conversion therapy. And they're referring to this person as she, even though it's a he, worried about the risk of complications and urinary incontinence from the rerouting and the risk of orgasm dysfunction. Big words there. They argued that the procedure that she's seeking aboard is standard vaginoplasties performed in Canada without the additional procedure. So she's saying those procedures are practiced without that additional procedure, and she doesn't understand why she can't have a penis and a vagina, because it's infringing on her rights as a human being. But the appeal board in Canada overturned the insurance's decision, ruling that this kind of surgery, among the genital surgeries listed for public coverage, does not need to specifically mention those bits, so therefore it should be included. So, we've now gone another step. Not only do people want them removed or change their gender, just take it away, let's have something else. I want both. I don't know if it's greed, stupidity, for OnlyFans. I don't know, because that's going to go on OnlyFans and someone's going to be excited at the prospect of multiple ways of entry.
There's people that are naturally built that way. They are people,
hermaphrodites. They're called.
Hermaphrodites,
the word is when you're a hermaphrodite, you're born with your both sexes.
Yeah.
But somebody now wants to be greedy.
Gosh, you know what? Let me play a track.
Hold on 1 second before you play a track, because G4 says question 1, and we'll play a track and we'll answer these questions afterwards. Do you believe in God? 2, do you believe that God got it wrong when he created you? Good point. And they will probably say yes. I'll leave you with that, Sharky.
It's been a heavy morning. It's been a heavy morning.
It certainly has. That's got people talking, hasn't it? I'm telling you, it has, and the insurance company actually got fined £20,000 and was ordered to pay the legal fees for this person as well. And
wow.
yeah, I don't know what else to say about that, actually. I'm all for people that are not comfortable in their skin. But now when the taxpayers have to start paying for your mad choices, there's too many people that can have too many choices right now. We're not going down the right societal path with allowing people just to do freely what they want to do like this, and it's affecting. There needs to be a subgroup. If you got your women and you got your men and you got this subgroup. Because as far as I'm concerned, whilst you've got the genitalia to be a woman and you've got the physical changes, your whole body makeup is not designed to be a woman. And and it's quite an emotive subject, because I've watched programs on this, like you've got children, I think it's something that's called Chimera, where they've got two sets of DNA. They could be half white and half black, literally straight down the middle, and have two defining sets of DNA. And then you've got people who are hermaphrodites also, where you don't really know what sex they are. You need to work out what the dominant sex is in the body, and then they are chosen likewise to go into that particular sex. Yeah, I do believe some people are born in the wrong body. I do believe some people believe that they could be a woman. I believe that your genes and chromosomes could do that. But just the desire just to change just like that because you feel like it is completely different. I just want to be a
Yeah.
woman. I've woken up and I want to be a woman one day is not right. Is not right. And those are the things that I find that's going wrong in the world, that we're giving everyone that opportunity to do so without really looking into people's psychological issues. Maybe there's past trauma into them thinking that way. Maybe it's just because they've just got an effeminate side that hasn't been explored, that may need just exploring, but not life changing. You
Mm.
know, and it's things like that. Those kind of questions are not asked. I mean, I don't know. I'm not in these clinics. I've heard that there's not a lot of conversation time, discussion time. There's just a couple of consultations and you're good to go. But they're making money at £400 to £1,000 a pop for a consultation, and you need at the very least 10 of them. They are
Mm.
raking in cash. So
Big time.
these clinics don't want to shut down. Of course they don't. We're going to have a different set of people. We're going to not have the ability to procreate soon because humans are just all mixed up. And we're going to have to rely on clinics to make babies for us. You know, we start choosing what we want because that happens.
Choose what you want.
Oh, I
Yeah.
want blue eyes and I want this hair and I want this, and you click, 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 and then Amazon will deliver it to you. Right, in a few days, this baby. I'm telling you,
Amazon.
Amazon
Amazon Prime will deliver it in 2 days, or one day.
will deliver this baby. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I
Yes,
mean,
Lady B. Go on, sorry.
you go on, go on. Go on.
No, I'll come back to Lady B's comment in a second. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I
Sorry,
was
Sharky.
saying I was watching the video of I think it was, I'm not sure what country it was. It might have been Germany, or there was a guy on a train, and you know, a couple of women were kissing in front of him, and he literally went in on them and was talking about, you don't belong in this planet. You know, you come from a mother and a father. The two of you are there kissing away, and what happens is, you know, and it was sad. And then somebody else decided that they wanted to get in and it as well, and he started and say, you don't come from another planet. I don't believe people should be starting on people, but I mean, it's got a point about, you know, a mother and a father, and you know, you do need two, a positive and a negative to create a baby, and you've got two negatives or two positive, it just ain't gonna work. Doesn't matter what they say, it's not going to work.
So, Lady B says it's called body dysmorphia. Yes, I do. When people are not happy with the body and they don't see themselves in the right light, and they've got a putrid hatred of their body and they want to change it completely. Spice Nice says, I should go and say I want to be a helicopter. Well, the funny thing is, that brings me on to my next story. Slides nicely straight into my next story. So this lady has written in with a dilemma that she's got. Okay, and she sought advice on how to handle her 13-year-old stepdaughter who is self-identifying as a fox. So the stepmom is uncertain how to react to a teen who's a Therian. It's called a Therian, a person who identifies as a non-human animal. All right, this was in a podcast, a Dr. John Deloney show. Okay, she wears a mask and a tail and has a YouTube channel with her jumping around like a fox in really short shorts. Right? I don't think it's because she identifies as a fox. Right? The woman continued that the girl's biological mother was seemingly encouraging the behavior at the house. Now, she's saying that the young sister has an influence on her now, and now the young sister, what was it? She wanted to be a giraffe. I kid you not, this story's in the story's in there. The story is in there. That the young sister now wants to be a giraffe. This is in a bizarre twist, by the way. Yeah, she's self-identifying as a fox, this 13-year-old, and the younger sister's identifying as a giraffe. And she was shocked to hear that there's some kind of terminology for it, Etherian it's called, that they're understanding that people identify as non-human animals, and they have consultations about this and therapy. So there's some people out there that are not too righted, you know, really seriously.
They don't sound like it at all.
No. And the 8-year-old that wants to, the giraffe, sorry, the daughter who's a giraffe, do I call her a giraffe? I don't know, is only 8 and wants to dress up
Wow.
like a giraffe and run in the backyard. Yeah.
But you know what, right? talking about that, it just goes to show you the influence of society today on young children. Yeah, and they're pushing that, you can be what you want. If you want to be a giraffe, if you want to be a monkey, if you want to be a piece of shite, if you want to be whatever it is, you can identify as that. And they're taking it serious. And the youngsters, it's almost like they've not been given the chance to grow mentally to really choose what they want to be. Because I'm sure the majority of these, when they get mature, they look back at their life and they've had their bits chopped off. I think the suicide rate could even be worse. Because, they're making an adult decision at such a young age when, there were things that I look back at the age of 13 and 14 that I'm looking at, when I was 30, I'd be like, that's baby things. You even hear kids of like 10 looking and you say, they're doing something at 6 and said, nah, that's baby things. They've grown up. They're not getting a chance to grow into mature adults to make mature decisions.
Listen, when I was younger, I was a complete tomboy. After I grew out of my asthma, I was a tomboy. Dressed in, my hair was short because it was always shaved off because of my asthma. Always used to wear trousers. Hung around with boys all the time. Thought I was a proper boy, like part of the boys' crew. And wanted to be a boy, but I didn't have thoughts. Like my mum suddenly shoving me to a doctor saying she identifies as a boy. Could we have some hormones, please? Puberty blockers, and get rid of her bits and let her have a penis, please. And it seems like that's the way forward now.
Happened to you and you've grown now. I mean, imagine that. That happened.
Well,
to
I don't know,
you
Sharky. You imagine that?
Oh God, you wouldn't be with me, that's for sure. Oh, that's a funny one. You got me on that one. But I mean, it's like like you said, there's a lot of young ladies that were tomboys that hang with guys, and then they would never wear dresses and skirt. I mean, I know girls that would never wear a dress, and they've grown up, and like now you can't get them out of a dress, and they've grown mature.
I'll tell you one such famous person, Angelina Jolie's daughter Shiloh. Years ago, it was all over the paper. She used to wear boy suits. She had her hair shaved. She wanted to be a boy. She identified her mum had to call her John, and she was saying that the papers have to call her John now. She don't want to be known as Shiloh. And then all of a sudden, years later, we see her in a dress next to her mum at a premiere. And now Shiloh's back to Shiloh. Right, Shiloh's grown her hair. John's gone. Now imagine if her mum went through gender sex reassignment and this little girl was just a boy because of the influence of all the boys in her family. I mean, come on. Let's have some time. Give children some time to be kids before you start messing around with bodies that are not even mature enough yet to do anything. Man. Anyway, one more thing I want to play you before you go on a break. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but as I've got older, there's things I'm not scared of anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But some people do things that I don't understand. I really don't understand. So for those, there's a trigger warning here, people. For those of you that don't like spiders, don't watch this. Close your eyes. It's not bad, spiders. But it's not something I would do. Oh, it didn't do all of it. So basically, this is the tarantula, and he's just playing with the tarantula, going, "Goochie, goochie, gooch," and the tarantula's like holding its claws back up at him, so, like in appreciation. Would you do that to a tarantula?
No. I mean, I'm not wholly scared of spiders, but maybe for tarantulas, to be honest with you, I do know a bit about spiders, and they're not as harmful as they're not as dangerous as they're actually less dangerous than a house spider, believe it or not.
Lady B says it's too big. Now, I saw the comments on this. The video was actually longer than that, and I wish I had it. I obviously didn't cut it properly, but this person wrote in and actually made a comment on that video saying, "That's a nope spider, commonly found in the regions of F that, but could be found as far as south as oh hell no." And I think that's the same That's going to resonate with a lot of people. Hell no, am I doing that? No way.
Can tell you a bit about spiders, actually. Yeah, because I had a spider fanatic while I was at work. I was training. This guy was telling us about spider. He actually said that house spider is, the venom of a house spider. If it was able to get into the human body, would be more fatal to the human than a tarantula. The tarantula's got claws, but the venom is not, and it can penetrate, but the venom's not that dangerous. The house spider, their fangs against the human skin is like hair, so it can't penetrate the human skin. But if it was able to penetrate the human skin, it'd be extremely dangerous.
Oh, thank you for that, Sharky.
But they can't penetrate the human skin. It's still tough. I thought, as you're talking about spiders, it's quite an interesting. I mean, the other day I was watching this video of a guy with a crocodile. They brought this crocodile up from young, and the crocodile was so tame, could feed the crocodile with, and the crocodile didn't bite them. I mean, how amazing is that?
Good luck to them.
I wouldn't try it, but it does, it does fascinate me, because I'm just thinking one of these days that thing's gonna have your hand. But it's like feeding the crocodile, and the crocodile's literally just taking it off the hands like a dog. I mean, gosh, you know what? Let me play a tune. Go on.
Before you go, yesterday I've been watching TikTok videos on doctors removing earwax from ears. It's really surprisingly watchable. You gotta watch it.
You have to send the link. Let me watch it. Oh dear. Do you know what? It's 10 minutes to go. Let me play a track before we say goodbye. On the Mixcloud, SharkyDJ 7 or HPQ or GY Radio or State of the Art Radio or Luton Urban Radio if you choose to join us by radio.
Thank you for that. Now, one thing that I actually wanted to mention earlier on that I'm going to mention now. I haven't brought any Diddy news, have I? I haven't spoken about any Diddy news. It's gone a bit quiet, hasn't it? I know that I know that his son has been named in a new lawsuit for I think it's rape and trafficking also. So we're going to be watching these very closely. There's still lots of speculation coming out on Twitter and on TikTok and all sorts of things saying, about Justin Bieber and conspiracy theories with Jay-Z. But I'm going to keep a close eye on it. I'm not going to do a Diddy news right now. But the one Diddy news I'm actually going to bring you. Now, as you know, that Diddy sampled Sting's song, Every Breath You Take.
Yeah.
For that song that he did in a tribute to Biggie Smalls. Now, the problem is that Diddy didn't actually seek approval to use the sample. He didn't seek approval to use it. Now,
that could be very expensive.
It is expensive for Diddy, and it will continue to be expensive for Diddy for life. Do you know how much he has to pay Sting for the rights of using Every Breath You Take? Unauthorized right to use it?
Gosh. No, but you're going to tell me. Let me guess. Would it be something like 100 million?
So the rapper's hit, it was I'll Be Missing You. And he wrote that to honour his friend and collaborator, Notorious Big I.G., after the rapper was shot in 1997. And that song was a collaboration with Faith Evans, featuring 112. Yeah. Debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 June the 14th, 1997. And stayed on top of that charts for 11 weeks. It remained there for a total of 33 weeks as well in the Billboard charts. Now, because he didn't seek approval, obviously Sting and his lawyers took him to task, and Diddy has to pay $5,000 a day for the rest of his life.
Well, it's a lot of
$5,000 a day. Now, for those that want to do the math, he has to pay Sting $1.825 million every year for the rest of his life for that track. because he didn't
Every
seek.
day I think,
Oh, yeah. 1.8 million a year.
every
So Sting's sitting
Yeah.
pretty. He doesn't have to do nothing more ever again for a little while. Just like, so long as
What I mean,
Diddy's alive, he's collecting. And so long as
I'm
Diddy's
broke.
estate is these there, he's collecting. Don't be
Does it
surprised
affect?
if go on.
Sorry, I was gonna. Does it affect Faith? Because she's the one that sang it.
No, because it's Diddy, he produced it, so it's the record label,
Okay.
not the singers.
Okay.
It's the record label.
Okay.
So, you know, don't be surprised if something happens to Sting soon. 1.825 million a year, Diddy. Do I feel sorry for you? No.
No.
No. Not at all. Anyway,
Oh.
thank you so much, guys, for being on the Breakfast Flight Show. Miss Sugar Sweet said you did tell us this the week before last. Ah, sorry, I'm telling you again. Good morning.
Get over it.